instantly? DraftKings, you
Considering the sexy scenes he's read, totally 18 plus. Don't you know who you're talking to?
Daddy. Strength to hold in what is trying to get out. Okay. Temptation.
He lowers himself down between my legs and watches me closely as he pushes himself inside me. I cry out, moaning with pleasure, uncaring how feral and out of control I sound. Kyle moves slowly at first, kissing me so softly that I feel like I might explode. Then he pulls back and slams into me hard.
I shall save you all from spiders. I'm an expert trapper and releaser. That's so sweet that you release them. I murder them. Hi. Welcome in, everybody. Good to see you. Stunt Mama, thank you for the resub for 15 months. I already put your name in the drawing, and I threw it into my hat. But now I need to update the count because I will forget if I don't. So let's do that. Ons, what's up, dude? Good to see you. There's a drawing. Yeah, it's literally right above me. Okay. Stunt Mama's mama. Well, first off, congrats on getting first place. I saw you in here and I knew you would. And thank you for the 500 bits. My goodness. Now, I need to edit the push-up counter as well. Edit count, push-up. So now we're at 15. And because I know you're going to ask. Cake. I have cake. And I'm not afraid to eat it on screen. Ons, dude. It's so good. I did the wrong push-up counter. My blood sugar spiked just looking at that. Thank you for the 1,000 bits, you crazy individual. I don't know what to say. That was completely unnecessary, but thank you so much. So wait, that should have been 15, so now we're at 25. Okay, there's the correct counter. Jeepers. I'm fine. I know what I'm doing. It's my own stream. So how's everybody doing? Technically, the birthday was yesterday, but we are celebrating today. And let me not forget, Chan the Magic Man, thank you for happy birthday. Welcome in, first time chatter. How are you? Kay is tired. Oh boy. Well, I'm not surprised. You're a busy woman with a lot going on, so I get it. You know, it's just so smooth and chocolatey, and the cream, the velvetiness, it just melts in your mouth. I'm doing well, just about to do my thing. I wanted to stop in and wish you well and shake some biddies at you. Well, my guy, consider them shooken. Thank you. Seriously. That was super kind. I will think of you when I keep Iowa flat. Okay? Or at least my part of Iowa. Enjoy your cake and your push-ups. Yeah, cake and push-ups don't really go together, do they? I didn't really think about that one. But it's fine. Heidi! Oh my goodness, I'm so glad we have the privilege of another year. 39. It's so close to that other number. And I know what you're all thinking. I know what you're all thinking. He doesn't look it. He doesn't look 39. And I agree. I still look 38. But I really am 39. We don't talk about that number. Oh, this cake is delicious. And I have a nice strawberry smoothie here that I made myself. Cake, push-ups, and then barf. Oh my god. Don't even... Why are you bringing that up, Stunt? Why are you even speaking that into existence? There's no need to do that. Oh, hush, both of you. Call me when you're 50. Oh, okay. You don't look 50 at all. Not at all. check out this cool puzzle. It's a cake. Because why not? Tell you what though, I am sad that we're finishing Kay's book tonight. Y'all, the true hero, the last few streams here, is Lady K, because the book we've been reading of hers is phenomenal, and I can't wait for the next set of books in the series so that we can read them on stream together. It's going to be fantastic. Just saying. I can go up one more decade. Okay, this is not a competition, all right? We are not trying to outdo ourselves in the age category. This is not a win for everybody. This cake is a win, though. I should really slow down and savor it, but I'm having a really hard time. Oh, thank you for the hype train, guys. I saw it was going, but I didn't really give it much thought, and then thank you. Thank you so much. Ooh, my cake fell down. You're blushing so brightly right now, as you should be. You deserve the compliments. You're an excellent writer. Excellent. Magnifique. And this is the book we're moving to, by the way. This is our next book. After we finish Kay's book tonight, I will read to you the back cover of this book. And as you've noticed, the scene, the theme has been based around the book. I decided to do that for Kay's book because I was like, duh, that makes sense. I can do that. I have a green screen. And so I did the same thing for Future Proof. I've done something very similar so that what's behind me reflects what we're reading. I don't know if I'll be able to do that with every book we read, but that is certainly my goal. So, why not, you know? Why not? Whatever you do, do not go to Costco and look for the tuxedo cake on the back wall. Okay? In fact, it was really funny. We went out to dinner as a family. We went to Texas Roadhouse for mine and my kiddo's birthday because we share a birthday. And so we went out to Texas Roadhouse to eat dinner. And then Costco is like 2 minutes away from where we were. So we pulled into Costco. I ran inside. I go to the back corner where all the bakery stuff is. And I'm seeing empty shelves as I approach. And I'm starting to get really worried because the empty shelves is where this cake usually sits. There's 2 other people walking up. I didn't have a cart because I didn't need one. I grabbed like 2 or 3 things. But these 2 other people are walking up with their carts, and I see 1 tuxedo cake left. 1. I swooped in between these 2 carts, bent down, grabbed it, and I walked away, and I did not turn around. I did not look back. I don't know if they wanted it. I didn't care. Not gonna lie. I wanted my cake, and I got it. That was my victory for... when was that? Yesterday. That was my victory for yesterday. This is the first time I'm eating it, so... I promised I'd have some on stream. You asked, I delivered. Here it is. It's your B-Day cake. I say, who cares? Well, they didn't know that it was my B-Day cake. I certainly could have argued the fact and put on my, my puppy dog eyes. It's my birthday. I look more like a creepy villain than puppy dog. Please. As soon as I'm almost done eating it. As soon as we get done, we're going to jump over to the reading page. And we're going to crack open the book. I'm partial to red velvet. I do love a good red velvet. It has to be good though, because you can really ruin red velvet cake. If it's too dry, I mean, you could say that about any cake, but for some reason, for me, if a red velvet cake is too dry, it just really throws it off, you know? It's just not great. Been dying to get a Dairy Queen ice cream cake, but something always comes up and I revert back to baking myself a red velvet. Well, I guess the pros there are you can bake it how you want it. And I don't actually think I've ever had a cake from Dairy Queen, now that I think about it. I don't think I have. Wow, that light makes my skin look so pale. I mean, I am pale, but holy cow. Like ghost-esque. There's something about the angle, like, changes how I look. I haven't either, that's why I want one. I love Dairy Queen ice cream. Ah, okay. Well, that makes sense. I'm partial to Culver's ice cream myself. But, when you're in a pinch and a Dairy Queen's close by, I'm not gonna say no. But yeah, Culver's ice cream, it's pretty legit. Okay. I've eaten the cake. We're good. They're good, but it's been a while since I've had one. Okay. I'm ready. I think I'm ready. Exclamation point puzzle if you want to do the puzzle. Otherwise, everyone got tissues. Oh, come. Really? We can't end it on a bad note, can we? Okay. Me. I think I'm saying that right. Hi. A little hopped up on cake right now. She says. All right. Remember how it started? I sure do. And I kind of assumed it would go full circle, but I wasn't sure to what extent. It will be book withdrawal time again? Yes, it will. And none of us can go and get the next copy because it's not ready. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right. It's a little rough. Okay, well, let's just get into it then. Let's rip off the band-aid. Can't finish itself. We're on chapter 13. The title is The Unfortunate Surprise. And we're starting out from Queen Fallon's perspective. Okay. All right. So sit back. Relax. Take a load off. Something bothering my lip. Okay, that's fine. Here we go. We're on page 193 of the printed copy. It is our last day, Li Xin. Could you not take the day off? I was livid. There were barely 12 hours left before Maya and I fled Obsidian Mountain, leaving our mates behind to die, and my mate had to work. I am sorry, darling, but we must give the impression that nothing is amiss, and that means maintaining our daily routines. I have a video conference with King Gavin of the Grayling Pride to renegotiate his supply contract. Then a meeting with Ola and Renly to finalize the menu and decorations for our daughter's introduction to the Pride. He explained while tying his tie, pausing to use air quotes to indicate the introduction planning was all for show. Logically, I knew those things were necessary. Shi Yang had spies all over the Pride Lands, even inside the palace, and we could not give them the slightest clue that we suspected anything was about to happen. They could warn him, or try to stop Maya and me from getting away on his behalf. Our plan's success was dependent on them believing we were unaware. That didn't mean I had to happily accept that my last day with my mate would be spent with 2 floors between us. Li Xin came over to my side of the bed, cupped my cheek in his hand, and brushed his lips over mine. I promise, Quinn and I will not be long. Those are only the 2 things that require my presence in my office. Everything else I can handle from my den. Rhino, happy birthday. Thanks, man. How the heck are you? I forced a nod, then turned my lips into his palm as he started to pull his hand away. Do not let that arrogant bastard bully you, my king. Absolutely not, my queen. He's never managed it before. Why would he now? In an exaggerated and comic manner, Li Xin beamed and puffed out his chest before strutting from the room. Soon after Li Xin left, Maya strolled in with a tray laden with food and a tea kettle. I know you're not actually on bed rest, but Li Xin said your back was giving you trouble. So I figured, since we have a long walk down the mountain tonight, that you should rest until the time comes. Thank you, Maya. That was very sweet of you. Given our situation, I feel so stupid complaining about my back. But it is awful. Nothing seems to help ease the pain. I answered as I tucked the blanket tightly around my legs so the tray would not wobble. Have you tried a bath? Maya asked, setting the tray over my lap. I plucked a piece of toast from the tray and began slathering it with strawberry jam from a small crystal dish. Baths are forbidden during pregnancy. Something about the heat being bad for fetal development. I shrugged. I did not really pay attention to the reasons. The doctor told me to avoid them, and I obeyed. That's a shame, because I, for one, love taking a bath. Maya perched on the edge of the bed, reached for the kettle, and poured me a cup of tea. Hot baths are forbidden, yes, but a warm one would be fine. Really? Really? Some midwives use pools, floating exercises, and different massage techniques to alleviate discomfort in expectant mothers, she explained. Obviously, you can't use the pool since you're supposed to be confined to bed, but you can use your tub's jets to accomplish the same thing. I was completely baffled by her knowledge of the subject. My poor, sweet friend had been denied the opportunity to have children long before she even found her mate, and yet she knew more about my condition than I did. Maya, forgive me for asking, but how do you know all of this? Were you a nurse at the clinic before you became my aide? I asked just before taking a bite of the spinach mushroom and Swiss omelette she made me. Sorry, what? Spinach, mushroom, and Swiss omelette? Why? Why would you do such a thing? Okay. Why? You'd eat that? Of course you would. Of course you would. What's wrong with it? Spinach. Mushroom. Come on. Anyway, we're getting off topic here. Unperturbed, Maya chuckled as she added cream to my tea. No. Listen, Mr. I Hate Peanut Butter. Oh, really? You're gonna go there? That's a low blow, okay? We're talking about something very different right now. And you're just gonna stick the peanut butter in there like it's nothing? Alright. Let's see how it is. No, I've been studying pregnancy, labor, and delivery these last few weeks. Since we will have no access to medical assistance, I wanted to make sure I had some level of understanding of the birthing process. It will be safer for you both. We have some paw prints on the page, which means time has passed. Like everything else I tried, the bath did not work to alleviate my pain. I even sat with jets aimed directly at my lumbar spine, just inches away from my skin, and nothing. Instead, it grew worse and spread to my abdomen. Back to the drawing board, I grumbled as I wrapped myself in my robe and padded from the bathroom. Could you please have mercy on me, my little one? Your mother is not very good with pain. It makes me want to crawl into this bed and not get up until I have you in my arms. But that is not possible. I must get you to safety first. With a resigned sigh, I trudged to my closet to find a simple but comfortable maternity dress. While I heeded Li Xin's advice about the appearance standards drilled into my head by his mother and grandmother, by omitting makeup and wearing more casual attire, I still dressed properly before entering public spaces. After sliding the dress over my head, I combed my hair and ambled out to the great room. Maya was folding laundry at the dining table when I emerged, still mumbling. No luck? She asked, staring at me with concern, one of Quinn's t-shirts gripped in both hands. Sadly, no. It has only gotten worse. My stomach hurts. Did Ola bring up the coffee cake I asked her to bake for me? I have the worst craving, and no one makes coffee cake quite like our Ola, I said, making a beeline toward the kitchen. It's on the counter and still warm. She brought it up almost immediately after she pulled it from the oven, Maya said, turning back to hers and Quinn's laundry. If I could, I would have skipped the rest of the way to the kitchen. I adored coffee cake in general, but Ola's was something special. The cake was moist with a slightly crunchy topping that melted in your mouth, and a smooth and creamy frosting with a hint of spice. It was delectable, and I was desperate for a slice. I grinned to myself as I opened the cabinet and reached for a plate. My smile fell when I felt a light pop, followed by warm liquid running down my legs. On the floor beneath me, a small puddle began to accumulate. "Hey, Fallon, you don't think you could be in—" Maya began as she rounded the island into the kitchen. "Labor? Oh, no." Another pain, which I now recognized as a contraction, squeezed my midsection, and tears welled in my eyes as I realized what being in labor meant. We were not going to make it. There was no guarantee the baby would arrive in time for the three of us to attempt to get to safety, and I seriously doubted I would be able to walk that far so soon after giving birth. My daughter's untimely decision to be born had just made us all sitting ducks. I channeled my mate. "Lee?" "Yes, my love, I'm almost finished. Give me 15 minutes. "No, I need you now. Do not panic. My water just broke." "We're on our way." "Don't panic," she says. Okay. Every guy that's about to be a father in that situation definitely panics. Now we're moving on to King Li Shin's perspective. "Do not panic," Fallon said. Of course I was going to panic. See? Literally on the page, and I hadn't read that. But it's true. "The woman must have lost her mind. She just told me that she was in labor, and labor meant she was about to deliver our cub without medical assistance to keep my psychotic brother from finding out before we could get them out of danger. Who could keep from panicking under those circumstances?" I glanced across my desk. Ola and Renly stared back expectantly and smiled as I picked up the folders they presented me upon arriving for the meeting. "You ladies have done an excellent job putting together so many wonderful ideas. I love them all. And for that reason, I'm going to entrust you both with making the final decisions." Both ladies looked at each other quizzically, then back at me. Renly brushed her blonde hair over her shoulder, matching brows furrowed over hazel eyes in confusion. "Begging your pardon, Your Majesty, but that goes against protocol. The Queen always makes the final decisions. However, in this case, since the Queen is unavailable, it falls to you," she said, crossing her legs and resting her hands on her knee. "Yes, I am aware this is peculiar, but I am overwhelmed and feel I can trust the two of you to oversee this in my stead," I responded while struggling to keep my smile on my face. Ola got to her feet and curtsied. "It will be my honor, Your Majesty," she said and looked to Renly. "If you are overwhelmed, Your Majesty, perhaps the Queen would not mind allowing us a moment of her time at her bedside to make these decisions herself." Something in Renly's eyes told me her motive for wanting to see Fallon had nothing to do with planning our child's introduction. All the more reason to keep her out. "I appreciate your adherence to protocol, but I'm afraid the Queen cannot handle the stress of her duties at this time. If it makes you uncomfortable to take on this task, I can find another who is willing." Renly's eyes flashed with annoyance as she rose. "That will not be necessary, Your Majesty. I was just concerned about how it would look to the bride. If you are comfortable with it, then I am as well. I assure you, I am not the least bit worried about appearances, Renly, but I appreciate your looking out for my image. I answered, pushing to my feet to indicate the meeting was over. Taking the hint, Renly offered a hurried half-curtsy, then followed Ola out of my office. As soon as the door closed, I turned to Quinn. We have a problem. What's wrong? He asked, rising from his chair. Fallon is in labor. Quinn's mouth dropped open. What are we going to do? We are going to go up there, deliver the pride's future, and pray that she comes quickly, allowing her mother's panther to heal her enough to make the trip down the mountain. I answered as I skirted my desk and started toward the door. Despite the urge to hurry, Quinn and I strolled casually through the palace, pausing here and there to converse with members of the staff as we passed. Our expressions were relaxed, with easy smiles in place while we chatted amiably about the day's events, the princess's introduction, and the bride's future business prospects. Instead of the elevator, we took the stairs as we had every day before Fallon became unable. Anyone who saw us would believe that this day was no different than any other, and that we were enthusiastic about the future, not dreading it. Inside the royal chambers, Maya was rushing around the room while Fallon sat at the kitchen table, drawing deep breaths. I've got the shower curtain liner spread over the bed to protect the mattress and sheets, Maya said as she flew by me and shoved a mop and bucket at Quinn. There's a puddle in the kitchen that needs to be cleaned up. Li Xin, bring Fallon into your bedroom. I rushed over to Fallon and scooped her up into a bridal carry while she whimpered through a contraction. How are you feeling, my love? Her answer was a look so lethal I was surprised I did not bleed out right there in our dining room. I coughed to clear my throat and averted my gaze. Never mind. I seem to have left my brain in my office. Let us get in here and try to make you more comfortable, I said, beating a hasty path toward the hallway entrance. Fallon growled when I unintentionally jolted her as I pivoted to enter the room sideways. I am sorry, my queen, but I did not want to bang your head on the door for him. I'm already skating on thin ice. I sputtered and laid her down gently on top of the vinyl shower curtain liner. No, Maya said, rushing over with all the extra pillows from the linen closet squeezed between her arms. We need to prop her up against the headboard. I looked down at the love of my life, whose expression portrayed a desire to rip my dick off. Sorry. That was good. And pasted what I hoped was an encouraging smile on my face. All right, love. I have to sit you up now. I will try not to cause you any more pain, but I cannot promise. Please do not bite me, or claw me, or harm me in any way. I do love you, I said, and dropped a quick kiss on Fallon's forehead before easing her up into a sitting position. Fallon whimpered, but still tried to assist while getting her body as comfortable as possible. I know it hurts, Fallon. I can only imagine how much, but you're doing great. Keep breathing, Maya encouraged as she stuffed pillow after pillow behind my mate's back. Maya's eyes lifted to mine when she finished. Now, get in bed with her. You're her support. Keep your tone calm and your hands on her. The mate bond will help lessen the pain. When the time to start pushing comes, you'll replace the pillows with your body and let her use your hands as anchors. You know, when you gotta do with what you gotta do it. I feared for my personal safety being that close to my wife while she stretched her body beyond its capabilities to bring life into the world. Still, I nodded. And that is the end of the chapter. Oh boy. You have to put yourself in their shoes in this moment. They can't tell anybody that the baby's coming. Because if they do, they'll more than likely get outed and everything will just come to an end right there. So here they are, king and queen, with their only two trusted friends, trying to have a baby, none of which have any real medical experience or understanding about. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? Nothing. Normally I don't intervene in the puzzle, but I found a corner piece and I had to share it because I can see it, and it was like this blinking light in my face. Click me. And I found the other corner piece. And then I attached it. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Okay. Alright. Carry on, shall we? Chip chip, what? Chapter 14. Change of plans. You don't say. Except this chapter is coming from the perspective of Shi Yang, who we haven't heard from in quite a while. I mean, no question as to why. That's quite obvious. He was cast out, excommunicated, abandoned. But he's back. Or at least, back in the story. Chapter 14, Change of Plans, Shi Yang's Perspective, page 207 in the printed copy. Report, I demanded as I approached the small cluster of men on the western border of Obsidian Mountain. Dexter Lyon separated himself from the cluster and met me at the front of the group, bowing low in respect. Your Majesty, the alarms have been disabled and the surveillance cameras dismantled. They won't see us coming. Excellent. Do you have a location for Reese? While my face was fixed into a scowl, I was giddy with the prospect of getting my revenge on Li Shin's lapdog, the usurper. Am I saying that right? Usurper? Since both were older than me by 4 years, Quinn and Li Shin had already bonded by the time I was born, and Quinn made it his mission to make sure that Li Shin and I never did. Every time I attempted to engage with Li Shin in a rowdy bit of horseplay or an impromptu wrestling match, Quinn would step in and turn it into something malicious. Eventually, Quinn drove a wedge between us, prying Li Shin and me apart until the gap was unbreachable, and took my place in the role of brother. Before the night was over, he would pay for stealing what was mine. He would beg for my forgiveness. He would plead for mercy, and he would get neither. They are staying in the east wing on the 3rd floor. The cook told Renly that they go to bed after she retires every night and wake up before she does. That is as close to an exact time as we could get. Dexter answered with an apologetic frown. That should be good enough. Ready a team to round them up. I want them alive. I said as Dexter bowed low. Quinn is mine to deal with, and I need his bitch of a mate to make him suffer. As you wish, Your Majesty. I watched Dexter hurry toward a group of soldiers gathered near the road leading up the mountain. Then I turned to the man who had just arrived at my side. I appreciate your assistance with this matter, Gavin. While I am certain I can pull this off without a war erupting, it is nice to know I have the firepower to meet it head-on in the unlikely event of being wrong. King Gavin Barton of the Grayling Pride dipped his head to me in acknowledgement. You do realize that King Li Xin was just talking to the same king. That sucks. I hope you're right, Shi Yang. I would rather my pride's name not be linked to what is about to happen. But we do what we must to preserve our way of life. Thanks to Li Xin's idiocy, the women in my pride are already starting to get ideas. This madness must stop. He refused to listen to me at his child's gender reveal, and now he must face the consequences. He said as his face contorted in disgust. And he will. My people will tell me that Li Xin and Quinn remained ignorant of my plan, meaning justice will be swift and the transfer of power smooth. The king studied me for a minute as if assessing my credibility, then turned and crossed the road to the neighboring mountain where his army waited for the call to action. It annoyed me that I had been forced to forge an alliance with King Gavin. The man was insufferable and pompous, and I detested him. However, Dexter had been unsuccessful in recruiting enough Obsidian warriors to fight on my behalf, leaving me with little choice. I either forged an alliance with the only nearby pride that held a matching grievance, or went into battle outnumbered, ill-equipped, and foredoomed to failure, which would result in my inescapable death. I chose victory. I chose the path that would lead me to taking my rightful place on the throne of Obsidian Mountain. Dexter! I called out while checking my watch. He jogged over from a group of soldiers I assume were the ones he'd chosen to capture Quinn and his mate. Yes, Your Majesty. Is your team assembled yet? Yes, sir. He waved the group over. Quinn is a skilled fighter and stronger than most, so I settled on 8, including 2 squadron leaders. That seems reasonable, I commented. Then I addressed the group. Your only job is to apprehend Quinn Reese and his mate. They are to be taken alive. If you kill either one of them during the process, you will be severely punished. Is that clear? Yes, sir, they all answered at once. Excellent. To Dexter, I added, gather the rest of the troops. It's time to prepare for a revolution. Stone Papa, what's up, dude? Cheers. Thank you for the happy birthday. It's a delicious drink I made. I'm not gonna lie. Thank you for the lurk. Love to stay and hang out, but I am dealing with a headache right now. Oh no. Headaches suck. Go rest. Do your thing. So I will admit, I don't remember what the initial voice was that I gave Shi Yang. So hopefully whatever voice I just used worked. I wanted him to sound a bit more gravelly, you know, bad guy vibe kind of thing. So hopefully that worked. No complaints? Okay, good. You think I used an Elmo voice? Okay. Really? Elmo's World. Hi, Redthorn. What's up? The next section is from Quinn's perspective. So this should be interesting. Mama House Gaming, happy birthday, thank you. You almost missed it? No, you're right on time. Thank you so much. How are you? How you been? You did miss my cake though. I ate cake on stream. I still have the plate right here. It was good. It was really good, not gonna lie. I'm alright, oh well, story of my life. What, missing cake? It's okay. It's understandable if you're busy, don't worry about it. And here I was seeing if there was a redeem for eat a bite of cake. No, there's not, because I just decided to eat it all before I started reading. Can you imagine? I read a page or two, and then I eat some cake, and then I'm like, trying to read. No. That doesn't work out. Not very well. Alright, we're on page 211. We're still in the chapter, and we're continuing on the story from Quinn's perspective. You could wash it down with a tall glass of British milk. I could, except I don't have any British milk. So, there's that. I do have a delicious smoothie that I made for myself, though. While Li Xin and Maya attended to Fallon in the royal suite, I paced the great room, glancing at my watch every few seconds. Thump Gaming! Dude, what's up? Banana smoothie? There is some banana in it, but it's mostly strawberry. There is a hint of banana. Mr. Thump, how you doing, sir? It's great to see you. We should have been halfway down the mountain already. The sun set an hour before, and almost all the Pride were tucked inside their homes watching TV or engaging in some other form of entertainment. I'm doing good, sir. Just, we're finishing this book tonight. You need to get this. It's a great book. Just saying. With the 20-minute gap in the patrol rotation, that was the perfect time to set out. Unfortunately, the princess decided that she wanted to be born in the palace with her father present. So we were trapped until at least 4 hours after she made her appearance. It would take that long for Eden to heal Fallon enough to travel. I checked my watch again just as the door to the royal suite opened, and a harried-looking Li Xin bolted out of it. Harried, sorry. Is she here yet? I asked, hoping that he would answer in the affirmative. He shook his head, grabbed a large ceramic bowl from the cabinet to the left of the sink, filled it with water, then rushed awkwardly back, trying not to spill any of it. Oh, good grief. How long does it take to deliver a baby? I wondered as I resumed my pacing. Sometimes it can take a long time, dude. A few seconds later, Li Xin reappeared, carrying the same bowl back toward the kitchen. Ice. She said ice. He mumbled to himself, "Why ice?" "Do you need any help?" I asked him and folded my lips around my teeth to keep from laughing. Never in all the years I had known him had I ever seen Li Xin that rattled. The man was always a picture of calm in any situation. It was usually me who needed to be talked down from the ledge. "Help?" he parroted back. "Oh, yes, I mean, no. I have it well handled. Well in hand." After dumping the water out of the bowl and replacing it with 3 large tumblers of ice, my unshakable king sprinted back to his suite, shouting, "I have the ice, my love. I have it." The poor guy has no clue. When the door closed, I burst out laughing and shook my head. Fallon was going to enjoy telling that story to their daughter one day. My laughter died as the thought sank in, reminding me of our dire situation. Again, I looked at my watch. We could push their departure back another day, but that would be too big of a risk. Every day we delayed, the more likely Shi Yang would attack before we got Fallon and Maya off the mountain. Maya's laptop dinged, announcing a new email. Since I had nothing better to do and Maya was busy, I checked it in case it pertained to urgent palace business. As long as she was on the mountain, she had to keep up the all is well appearance. My heart sank when I read the sender's email address. It was a notice from the website where our secret border security camera footage was stored. I opened the email and read the words I'd been praying would never come. "How are you doing?" "I'm good." My watch said it's time to stand. My watch can wait. I'm sad that this is the last few chapters because we've really enjoyed the story. It's been great. Am I excited to see what the next book holds for us? Sure. But it's always a bummer when you have to be done with something you've enjoyed. So, it is what it is. The title says security camera activated. I followed the link the email provided to the website, logged in, then clicked on the camera's icon. The picture was dark and grainy, and the faces were impossible to identify, but I didn't need to see them to know who they were or what they were doing. 50+ men didn't randomly gather at the base of a mountain after dark unless they were up to something sinister, especially not a magically protected mountain. Humans couldn't find or even stumble upon Obsidian Mountain. Only supernatural creatures could, and most steered clear of Panther territory. So not only were those men supernatural, but they were also Panthers, and I would have bet my money that Shi Yang was somewhere in the crowd leading them. The night we had lived in fear of for the last 2.5 weeks had arrived. I opened a channel to Li Xin. "Li Xin, I need a moment of your time. It's urgent." "I cannot leave. Fallon is pushing." "Shi Yang is here. He and his men are gathered at the western border." "No, not now. Fallon and Maya. The baby." "I know. We have maybe an hour before they make it to the palace." "How many are there?" "More than 50 from what I can see. The image isn't very clear." "We have to slow them down. Hit the panic button on the panel by the door. That will engage the fortification feature. Thick steel sheets will block all the windows, doors, and stairway landings. They obviously cannot come into prolonged contact with those panels, and the system requires a different security code for each level to unlock them. Only Clayton and I have the codes. Anything else? Pray. Pray that I can turn a page. Good grief. Alright, I got it. It's all good. We're now switching to Queen Fallon's perspective. So there might be a lot of cussing, I imagine. What in the name of the collective had I done? Never in all my 105 years had I experienced so much pain. It was beyond unbearable. And I tried multiple times to stop the process, to stop the sensation of being ripped in two. I was unsuccessful. My body chose that moment to have a mind of its own, and was determined to evict the tiny human residing within its womb. So I searched for anything to ease the pain, even if a little. There was nothing. Not one damn thing. We had no access to the medications typically used to make delivery more comfortable for the mother. The breathing Maya kept insisting I did wasn't helping at all. Neither was Li Xin's cooing and massaging, nor the damned mate bond. I glared over my shoulder at my mate, who smiled sheepishly, kissed my temple, and muttered more useless nonsense. It was his fault, I decided as I growled in fury. He was not trying hard enough to absorb some of the agony. Fucking coward! I fumed while tears dripped from my eyes and streaked down my cheeks, blending with streams of sweat. Never again. One child was enough. Fallon, stop fighting the pain. Embrace it and push. You're making this much harder than it needs to be. Fuck you. You're not the one trying to squeeze a boulder through an opening the size of a pebble. No, I am not, but I still feel your pain and hesitance. Do as I say, Fallon. You are running out of time. What do you mean? Focus. You need to focus on your cub. Now, push. That was Fallon's panther, by the way. I did not have time to ponder Eden's cryptic message before another massive contraction seized hold. My body flung forward of its own accord, and I reached for my knees to anchor me as I bore down with every bit of strength I possessed, screaming like a charging beast. You are a warrior, my queen, Li Xin said directly into my ear, and I am in awe of you. The urge to punch him in the face rose, but I redirected that energy into my push, and silently counted down from 10 along with Maya. When the contraction stopped, I let my body relax against Li Xin while I caught my breath. You're doing amazing, Fallon. It shouldn't be long now. A couple more pushes, and her head will be out, Maya said with a smile. I nodded and tried to focus on my breathing when I noticed her eyes slip out of focus for several seconds. At first, I did not pay it any mind. Her husband was in the next room alone. I assumed he was seeking an update. Then her face paled, crushing that benign thought. Eden's warning flashed in my mind. What's happening? I demanded, as another contraction crashed over my body. Maya's eyes lifted to Li Xin, but neither answered my question. The urge to push was undeniable, and I bore down hard, still watching Maya's face. What? I screamed at her through the pain when she simply started the countdown. Shi Yang has come for us, my love, Li Xin said. Those 5 words triggered something in me. Something powerful. Something primal. The pain and fatigue no longer mattered. All of it was forgotten upon the arrival of the next contraction. I dug deep, tightened my grip on my knees, and pushed with a strength that could have rivaled the biggest, most fearsome panther ever to grace the earth. My screams of agony became roars of fierce determination as I fought to give my daughter a chance at life. Before Maya reached the count of 5, my little angel's head rested in her hands. Another push forced the rest of her tiny body from my womb and into Maya's arms. Li Xin eased himself from behind me and replaced the pillows at my back before assisting with cutting the cord. My eyes stung as I watched my husband beaming over the life we created, while Maya cleaned out her mouth and nose. Our darling girl let out a strong, healthy wail, giving her lungs their first taste of air. Apparently, she was not a fan, because she screeched even louder. After Maya wiped her off, she laid the baby against my bare chest and left the room. She's perfect, I declared, looking up at my mate, whose eyes were brimming with tears. She looks just like you, my darling. Of course she is perfect, Li Xin answered. We should give her a name, I said, tracing a finger over my baby's sweet, chubby cheek. Li Xin frowned, and the tears that had been threatening began to fall. Lonnie, it is too late. Shi Yang should reach the palace in just a few minutes, and I do not know how long it will take him to get past the fortification. All we can do is enjoy the time we have together as a family, and pray that death will be quick. No, she has a chance. They all have a chance, I said, but we have to be quick. You want to send Quinn and Maya away with the baby? Li Xin asked, his expression turning contemplative. Yes. I cannot just let our child die, Li. Not when there is a chance for her to live. Quinn and Maya can still escape. They are healthy and strong. They can make it. Shi Yang's going to know you gave birth. He will hunt them down, he argued. I smiled. No, he will not. Look at my stomach. I still look pregnant. If we clean things up and leave no signs of the delivery, he will have no reason to suspect, I explained. Li Xin stared down at our little girl, brushed a hand over her downy blonde head, and slid from the bed. Then, we better get to work. And that was the end of chapter 14. Ugh. God damn it. That was a little well too written. Well too written? Good grief. That was a little too well written. Okay. Ah, jeepers. And I feel like it's only gonna get worse. Better, worse, whatever you want to call it. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the final chapter. Chapter 15 is Into Eternity. We're starting out with King Li Shin's perspective, and we're on page 222 in the printed copy. Here we go. Warning. Oh god, what now? What is the warning? There is violence at the end. Well, yeah, I kind of figured. After our daughter's name was decided upon, I hurried across the room to Fallon's secretary's desk and grabbed the royal stationery box and seal she kept on top. My intention was to write out, sign, and seal a letter of proof for Quinn and Maya to present to the Pride Society on my daughter's return to claim her rightful place as Queen of Obsidian Mountain. The letter would explain our circumstances at the time of her birth and how Quinn and Maya came to have custody. It would be signed by both Fallon and myself to show our solidarity in the decision. However, just as I sat back on the bed, I realized that Shi Yang would probably insist the letter was forged or coerced. So I stood up and went to the closet, retrieving the digital video camera and tripod I had been keeping ready for all those precious little moments I would no longer get to witness. My nervous fingers fumbled the setup a couple of times, but knowing the importance of my task kept me from giving up. Once the camera was perched on the tripod and aimed at our bed, I pushed the button to record and slid in next to Fallon, who was cradling our bundle of joy in plain view of the lens. Quickly, I penned the letter and signed it, then held it for Fallon. After I affixed the seal below our signatures, I looked up at the camera. My name is Li Shin Hai Song, King of the Obsidian Mountain Pride. This is my queen, Fallon Ray Song Ni Bennett. We are currently sheltering inside the royal suite with our newly born daughter, Daxia Zai Song, while a small army of armed men ascends the mountain, intent on slaughtering us. I do not have proof, but I believe my brother Shi Yang Quinn Song to be the leader. I paused to swallow my rage, as I couldn't turn the page, then held up the letter and continued. To preserve the proper line of ascension, Fallon and I have decided to give custody of our daughter, the rightful future queen, to Quinn Thomas Reese, military chief of the Obsidian Mountain Pride, and his mate, Maya Evelyn Reese Nee Copley, lady-in-waiting to the queen, and send them away from the mountain for their safekeeping. This is a handwritten declaration of our decision, with my signature and that of my queen, as well as the official royal seal. I swallowed again to suppress the emotions threatening to overflow, and pressed on. Fallon and I are proud to have served as king and queen of this pride. With honor we die defending it, and we pray the future is free of trauma for its members. All praise to the collective. I left the camera running, deliberately capturing a few moments of grief as Fallon and I said goodbye to our greatest miracle. With tears still flowing, we turned back toward the camera and recorded a personal message for Ardaxia. Something for when she was old enough to know who she was and the implications that came with her identity. Then I channeled Quinn and Maya to return to the suite. Upon entering the room, Quinn bowed low and Maya dropped into a deep curtsy. Red-rimmed eyes spoke of the tears they shed while awaiting the moment they would officially meet their princess. Sticking with protocol, Fallon passed Daxia to me, and I rose to present the future queen to her subjects. Quinn and Maya Reese, I am honored to present Daxia Zaisong, Princess of Obsidian Mountain, I said, and held her out to Maya. Maya cradled the sleeping infant in her arms and smiled down at her. She's so beautiful, she commented with awe in her voice. Quinn shook my hand. Congratulations, Your Majesties. I smiled sadly. And to you, my friends. Maya's eyes lifted to mine and her brows furrowed in confusion. Why are you congratulating us? Quinn asked with an expression that matched his mate's. Because you're going to raise her. Mitchell, hi, and Amlas. Thank you both. I appreciate that. Hope you're both doing swell. Welcome into this sad, sad story that we're reading right now. It is the final chapter. And it's a gut-wrencher. Just warning. Because you're going to raise her. What? How? Shi Yang? Maya began. We don't have much time to explain. I interrupted as I sat down and took my queen's hand. Fallon cannot make it down the mountain. I am honor-bound to defend the crown. So am I, Quinn interjected, but folded his lips around whatever other comments were perched on the tip of his tongue when I held up a hand. You are honor-bound unless ordered to do otherwise, and I am ordering you to take your mate and save yourselves. I am asking. I paused and lifted Fallon's hand to my lips for a kiss, then corrected myself. We are asking you to take our daughter with you and raise her as your own. Until Purple showed up. Purple, tier 2 for 23 months. Holy buckets. Thank you, friend. Hi, Purple. Happy birthday, friend. Thank you very much. Welcome into the sad part of the story. I will update my push-ups, and I will add you to the giveaway very shortly. We are asking you to take our daughter with you and raise her as your own, until she is old enough to take her rightful place as queen. Please, my friend. Maya's eyes widened, and her hands waved around the room at the mess childbirth had left behind. He'll know. I mean, we'll try. Of course, we'll try, but Shi Yang will know she was born, and he will come looking for her. Again, I pushed myself to my feet. He will not, because we are going to make it look like nothing happened here. Quinn, get a fresh bucket of water and the mop. Maya, if you would, please help Fallon get Daxia and herself cleaned up and dressed. I'll take care of rinsing and rehanging the shower curtain liner. Maya nodded. After I get them settled, I can take all of the soiled linens and start a load of laundry, she said. Thank you, I answered as I skirted the bed and assisted my mate to her feet. It took the three of us less than half an hour to restore everything within the royal suite to its original condition. Fallon was right. No one would know by looking at her room or the room that she had given birth. Her stomach had not changed in shape or size at all. According to her, that would take several hours. The only sign that she had given birth was concealed beneath her clothes. I pray to the collective that whoever tended our bodies before our transcendence was loyal to me and not my brother. Only that could guarantee Shi Yang's ignorance regarding Daxia's existence. When Quinn returned to the suite from emptying and rinsing the bucket, I handed him the letter and the SD card from my camera. This is a signed declaration for you to present to the Pride Society upon Daxia's return. It proves her identity and explains her absence. This card contains video evidence of that letter. I swear, I need to get better at folding pages. That letter being written in addition to my verbal statement verifying the facts contained therein. There is also a personal message to Daxia that I would like you to play for her when she receives her panther spirit. I paused and watched as he slipped the two items into the right hip pocket of his jeans, then continued. While you're mopping the floor, Maya and I opened an offshore account in her name, and I transferred the money from Fallon's account into it. Let it stay there for a bit. Move around a little at a time to keep it active, then open a new account stateside and transfer the funds. I closed Fallon's account and our personal accounts. I also destroyed all evidence of the accounts ever existing, so Shi Yang will not be able to trace the money. Can we skip this part? Unfortunately, we cannot. It's sad, but it's got to be read. It has to be read. Finally, I reached into my pocket and withdrew a slip of paper and a small jewelry box. This is my override code for the secret passage in the den. It will seal the door behind you and buy you time to get out. I believe it also seals the other entrances, but be vigilant in case it doesn't. The box contains our wedding rings and my signet ring for Daxia when she becomes of age. I lay my hand on his shoulder. The collective blessed me greatly when they brought you into my life, Quinn. I am honored to call you my friend and brother. May the collective continue to bless you. Quinn's eyes glistened as they stared into mine. The honor is mine, Your Majesty, he answered, stepping back and saluting me with his right closed fist over his heart. B12. Happy birthday. Where's the cake? I already ate it. You missed it. I promise you, it was delicious. I saluted him in return, then embraced him. Be safe and well, and take care of my girl. I promise. A loud bang outside the main door of the royal apartment startled us. Go! I shouted. Without hesitation, Maya scooped Daxia into her arms and ran for the door, Quinn close on her heels. Good luck, my friends, I whispered, and rejoined my wife in our bed. We now switch to Shi Yang's perspective. And I'm going to get ready to turn the page because that's what you do. My hope that my army and I would be able to slip in and catch Li Xin unaware was dashed the moment the palace came into view. Thick steel panels covered the windows and doors, forcing me to send a team to retrieve the Pride security chief and something to ensure he did what I asked of him. Carry on my wayward son. Sorry, I couldn't help it. Hope I didn't miss much, had to duck out a minute. It depends when you ducked out. I don't know. There's a lot going on right now. And it's all sad. I never knew Clayton Kipsey to be soft. He had always displayed strength and courage in the cells when he was called upon to assist in punishments. However, once I placed my steel blade against his mate's tender flesh, he became just as weak and pitiful as my pathetic brother. He punched in the code to each steel-protected level with a speed I might have admired had I not been so disgusted by his malleability. Mad Locust, hello. What could have taken hours only took minutes, and soon we stood on the landing outside the royal chambers, preparing to breach the doors. I turned to Clayton, who held his whimpering mate tight against his chest. I appreciate your assistance, Clayton. We would never have made it past my brother's security system without you, I said with a smile. So, can we go now? He asked, venom dripping from every word. Not quite yet, I answered as I nodded to the two soldiers flanking them. One man pulled Clayton's mate out of his arms, while the other jammed a steel-serrated Bowie knife into Clayton's heart and turned the blade. His mate screamed when he fell in a bloody heap to the floor, but quickly fell silent when another blade was held in front of her face. I walked over to Clayton's lifeless body and smiled as I shoved him down the stairs with my foot, delighting in the sound of bones breaking upon contact with each tread. Now, you may go. Your Majesty, Dexter called while leaping over Clayton's body and taking the stairs two at a time. Neither Quinn nor his mate is in the guest chambers. Dexter's news was not surprising. I had already come to the conclusion that when I saw the palace fortification engaged. Still, I wanted to be sure and sent the team to verify it. I am not surprised. His primary function is to protect his king. They are more than likely barricaded within the royal chambers with my brother and his whore. Take the door down, I said, and stepped to the opposite side of the hall to stay clear of debris. Dexter motioned to the largest man on the landing. You heard your king. Take it down. The man threw his weight against the door 3 times before it gave way, and I could enter. The trouble I was being forced to go through to take what was mine grated on my nerves, and I silently swore to make Li Xin pay for it all. He wasn't just going to die for his crimes. He was going to suffer. The main living space was vacant and spotless, and if no one had been there in a while, 4 people would have left some clue. Surely my brother had not run. He couldn't be that much of a coward, could he? The sudden thought triggered a growl, and sent me storming through the apartment toward the royal suite. Either way, the crown would be mine, but I would have been robbed of the satisfaction of taking it along with my brother's miserable life, a dream I had been so looking forward to realizing for 80 years. Stunt Mama, it's a community puzzle. Share. Play nice. My blood sizzled in my veins at the thought of my brother once again taking something that I wanted. I tried the knob. It was locked. My brother had not run after all. A slow and menacing smile curved my lips. At last, Li Xin would know my vengeance. "Take it down," I said in a low, threatening tone, then moved out of the way. Fallon shrieked when the door crashed to the floor and burrowed into Li Xin's chest as far as she could with that enormous eyesore on the front of her body. I did not waste a second. "You and your bastard daughter will have to excuse us, Fallon. This is a family matter," I said as I pulled out my pistol loaded with poison-dipped solid steel bullets and fired 2 into her stomach. Li Xin howled and clutched at his dying wife. "Loni, I am so sorry, baby. I am so sorry," he cried as he rocked her, kissing her cheeks and forehead. Fallon stared up at him, her bloody hand twitching over the wound she instinctively covered. Tears streamed from her eyes as she attempted to lift her hand to his face, then let it fall limply back to her stomach. "We will," she paused to cough, "be together again. Soon." She sputtered, "Bring him with us." Li Xin lay his forehead against Fallon's, his tears blending with hers as they landed on her cheeks. "I will do my best. I love you, my queen, beyond this life and into the next. Wait for me. I won't be long." I laughed at the ridiculousness of her final request and rejoiced as the whore expelled her last breath through the pale green foam that oozed from her mouth. Li Xin screamed, hugging her lifeless body to his chest. The serving of the mate bond during a rejection was extremely painful, and I could only imagine how much more so when a mate died. Based upon the pitiful sounds coming from my brother, the so-called king, it was torture, and I relished it. No one deserved it more. Several minutes passed before Li Xin pushed himself up and faced me. "Are you going to shoot me too, you coward?" He spat as he rose from the bed. I grinned and handed my gun to Dexter. "Oh no. I want to taste your blood. I want to feel your spirit leave your body when I kill you. I will not go down easily, and I guarantee you will not walk away unscathed." He promised, then shifted into his panther and charged. I passed control to Li Yang and embraced the mild pain as my bones broke and rearranged themselves. The shift was completed only a second before Balin's claws dug into Li Yang's shoulder, pinning him to the floor. My panther roared in pain and fury, then retaliated by biting down on Bolin's leg, tearing a chunk of flesh from the bone. Bolin attempted a grab at Li Ying's throat and lost his balance. Li Yang sprung up from the floor and tackled Bolin, slamming into the French glass doors and shattering them. Dazed, Bolin stumbled away, shaking his head. He made the mistake of turning his back on Li Yang and paid for it when my panther clamped his jaw over his left wing and snapped it in half. Bolin wobbled and fell, trying to fold his wing to avoid more damage and yowling in pain when he failed. Li Yang was not finished and went after that damaged wing again, this time ripping it clean off his body. The injury forced him to shift back into my brother's human form. I returned to mine. Li Xin was done. There was no fight left in him. It was time to end it, and I wanted to do it with my own hands. I wanted to watch the light leave his eyes and feel his last breath exit his body. While he lay in agony on the floor, I crossed the room and took the steel hunting knife from Dexter's belt. Li Xin remained sprawled on the floor, blood pooling beneath his back. His wound was severe and unhealable. He would be dead within hours. I was tempted to let him lay there and bleed out, to die slowly as he deserved. But I did not have the time. I had to leave the mountain without being seen, to return as the avenging brother after receiving my parents' call. No one could know that I had been the one to kill my brother and his whore, or else I would lose what I plotted so long to gain. Crouching down next to Li Xin, I stared into his eyes, hoping he saw how little he mattered to me. I told you that you were not fit to be king, and you proved it with that pathetic attempt to avenge your whore. I want you to know that I take great pleasure in ending all of you. A true king will ascend the throne, and no woman will ever rule the Obsidian Mountain Pride. Instead of seeing sadness and defeat in his eyes, I saw a glint of satisfaction. Enjoy it while it lasts, Li Xin said with a smug smile that did not slip a notch when I plunged the blade into his heart and twisted. What did he mean by that? Dexter asked when I handed him back his knife. Nothing. A man facing death will say anything to delay it. I reassured him as I stepped into a pair of pants. No other than the soldiers, or pair of pants one of the other soldiers handed me. Now, go and find Quinn Reese. Find your king's murderer. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Obsidian's Fall, the first of 3. Kay, you did it. Fantastic. 4? I do apologize. First of 4. So I can no longer do the puzzles? Why not? My goodness. Okay, that was a fantastic read. Absolutely fantastic. It says trilogy here, which is why I assume 3. So, does that need to be updated? Either way, whatever the number, I can't wait for the next one. No, this one is a prequel. Oh, that's right. This is like the beginning to the trilogy. Okay. Yeah. I'm with you now. I'm fine. So, how long do we have to wait? I don't know. Yet to be determined. But I assure you, as soon as the first book in the trilogy is available, we will be getting a copy. So, thank you, Kay, again, for letting us read one of your works. It's fantastic. I appreciate it. And again, please click that link. You can see more of Kay's work, her other writings, her other stories, her other books. You can follow her to keep track of when the next book or books comes out. So definitely keep that that link close by. Please, please, please. It's worth it, I promise. Oh boy. Thank you for your reading. I do enjoy you reading my work. Well, I am loving the fact that I can, so thank you. The pleasure is all mine. And last wants to know if you have an Instagram. If anyone has any questions for Kay, now would be a great time to ask them. Having an Instagram is certainly one of those questions. If anyone has other questions and they want to know more, or if they want to ask about this book or things that might be coming up in the next book, fire away. Okay. So, Future Proof, written by David Atkinson. We are not related. Is going to be our next book. Hey B, heyo. Hope you're well. I am. How are you? We just finished Obsidian's Fall. And now we're going to take a look at the next book, Future Proof. Pretty good, playing some Fortnite, getting some good games in. Nice. So I'm going to read to you the back of this book so that you can have an idea of what we're going to get into starting on Sunday. What would you do if you could go back in time and change your life? What mistakes and regrets would you fix? In Future Proof, an experimental medical procedure goes awry and allows Sam Harris to do exactly that. He starts by standing up to the kids who bullied him at school, and then sets about trying to fix the mess he made of the rest of his life. However, because there's always a however, he soon discovers that changing his past doesn't always lead to a brighter future. Buckle up for a bumpy, fun-filled ride of what-ifs and second chances. This book was winner of the Page Turner Genre Award 2002 and with over 500 5-star reviews on Amazon. Future Proof is accompanied by an original musical soundtrack. Available in paperback, hardback, ebook, and Audible. So, Future Proof. Would you change things if you could go back in time? That's the question. So we'll start that on Sunday. And I will let the author know that we're starting. Now, he is in the UK, or actually he's either in Scotland or England. Either way, the chances of him showing up to a stream are extremely unlikely, but he knows that we're doing this. We've been in contact through email. The NFV, not for vanity, the link that you see popping up sometimes, that's our connection. They recommended this book to me, so we're gonna give it a whirl. Okay. I'm working on 2 other series right now, but I'm hoping to get the first and Obsidian Mountain done by the end of the year. Yeah. Nice. Should be awesome. You guys are just churning away at the puzzle, so that's great. That will still be there. Just trying to think. Oh, I'm gonna do some push-ups because I owe some. I owe 25. And then we will go find someone to raid. All right. Thank you. I knew I was forgetting something. And I need to update the push-up counter too, because it's not 25, it's 35. Thank you for reminding me. She did a tier 2.
I'm smarter. I'm better. I am better.
So that's now at 35, because she did a tier 2. For every tier 1, we do a giveaway. So purple, I'm gonna write your name on the pieces of paper. Purple. You know, I just wrote Purple Justice instead of Purple Durple. I'm so used to writing Purple Justice. Either way, I know it's you. All right. 2 entries into the hat. Thank you for that reminder. Appreciate it. I would have forgotten entirely, and we don't want to do that. All right, push-ups. Nailed it. Okay, let me edit that. Whew. I'm on a spiral of thoughts. Yes, I will. Thank you. Considering if changing the past would make things worse. But I don't think so, to be honest. If it would make things worse. You know, I feel like we've all probably had those thoughts, right? What would I do if I could do this again? If I could do it again, would I do it differently? It's hard to say. Hard to say. Gotta head to bed. Thank you all again so much. Thank you, Kay. Get some sleep. We'll see you next time. Again, fantastic book. Awesome stuff. Oh yes, yep. I know, it's crazy. It's so crazy. Okay, as I catch my breath, let's find someone we can go say hello to. Let's see. You know, there's a friend of mine online right now that we haven't raided in a long time. They're playing Sea of Thieves. It's gonna be fun. She has no idea. Going to watch Wonka with the wifey? Oh, I can't wait to see that. No spoilers. Have a great night and happy birthday again. Thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you all for being here. Seriously. I appreciate you. I'm glad we could spend this time together and hang out. I'll be back on Sunday with the brand new book, Future Proof. But until then, please, 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 take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. And have a fantastic night.